Happy Monday, everyone. So, this is our last week on our exploration of the Holy Trinity and kind of what it means for God to be God and what it means for us to be a part of God's mission. And this whole week will basically just be readings from the Divine Dance by Richard Rohr. If you'd like to follow along, I'll give page numbers verbally, and you're welcome to buy the book digitally or hardback, whatever you like. I don't think it's too expensive. The link is in the description. And I just think it's a really wonderful book, and it really opens our eyes to old ways that are also new ways of viewing God in the world. So we'll start off with our first day of reading of the Divine Dance. This is page 84 if you'd like to follow along. The all-important thing is that the three are formed and identified by the outpouring and uninhibited flow itself. The flow forms and protects the three, and the three distribute the flow. It's precisely this same dynamic for a healthy society, isn't it? But we tend to dwell in extremes. In much of the West today, it's either intense individualism, in both its progressive and conservative forms, making the common good a lost and impossible ideal, or people live in mindless collectives, tribalism, and groupthink, where too many people lack any healthy autonomy or personal individuation, again in both progressive and conservative formats, which shows us this common way of seeing offers us two bogus criteria for truth. So how can we preserve deep and true values across the spectrum? This is invariably the question. Honestly, without trying to be esoteric, the Trinity gives us a rather ideal paradigm, model, and invitation. A way through that could be applied to so many problematic and political issues. Let's again try. The word person, as we use it today, meaning a separate human individual, is not really found in the Hebrew Bible. But the idea of face is. Hebrew authors wanted to convey the effect of interface with their Adonai God, who sought to intimately communicate with them. May God let his face shine upon you, and may his face give you peace. This same usage is found in several Psalms, where it is often translated as presence, meaning more precisely communicated presence, a transference of selfhood from one to another. In the Greek translations of the Bible that we have, the noun used for face was prosopon, literally referring to the stage masks that Greek actors wore. This seemed to serve as both an enlarged identity and a megaphone. Teachers like Tertullian and the Cappadocian Fathers used similar language, in Latin persona, preserving the full freedom and identity of what were eventually called the three persons of the Trinity, who are nevertheless a perfect and total communion. Each member of the Trinity was considered a persona or face of God. Each person of the Trinity fully communicated its face and goodness to the other, while fully maintaining its own facial identity within itself. Each person of the Trinity sounded through, personae, the other. Ironically, person is now our word for the autonomous human being, but originally it meant almost exactly the opposite. Each of the three knew they were soundings through from the other two. Identity was both maintained and fully shared, which frankly is what makes any mature love possible. Every good psychologist would agree. We are each a sounding through of something much more and even of someone else, and that becomes our self. Yet we are a stage mask, a face, receiving and also revealing our shared DNA, our ancestors, and our past culture. This has formed our very understanding of what we now call a person. Again, ironically, what first implied that all identity was shared now means the exact opposite. A separate individual is now called a person, and we do not commonly honor the fact that we are all soundings through. This simple distortion has made the first Catholic moral principle of the common good almost an impossible ideal. Happy Monday, everybody.